crap, I'm paranoid. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today, stuff's getting real. I'm in my brother's... Crap, I'm paranoid! I'm in my brother's car right now, and we're gonna be talking about some scary stuff, alright? Anyway, let's get started. It all started 4 years ago when I moved here. The only thing I remember from here is me waking up in the middle of the night in my old room and looking over to a mirror that is placed in front of a window, and I see a woman with her hair all up in her face, and it was just really creepy, but for some odd reason I just didn't react and I went back to sleep. You would have thought that I would have shrieked or maybe yelled or at least even gasped, but I didn't gasp at all. I just looked at the mirror and I saw the lady and I went back to sleep. Simple as that. The next time was in my room. I was sleeping on my side because my friend had told me that if you sleep on your side, it'll be less likely for you to get sleep paralysis. And at the time, I was very, very scared of getting it because who the heck wants to get sleep paralysis? I wouldn't say I got sleep paralysis that night, but something really weird happened. I just started feeling hands or arms start to grip around my waist. It was really weird because I could not move and I couldn't even really move my eyes in order to even glance at what was behind me. Once it felt like it started to become tight enough where I couldn't breathe, it just vanished and I just stayed in shock for a little while. I woke up the next morning and everything was fine. The second time I had sleep paralysis, it was a bit more intense, I would say. I was sleeping soundly, of course, when I literally just freaking fling up and my eyes are so heavy I couldn't even open them completely. Like, it was kind of like me doing a kind of this sort thing. Pretend I'm like this, right? It's like me doing this. I basically did that like 3 or 4 times, which was very, very weird because when I looked it up, no one had ever had that happen to them before. I just kept flinging up and down until I could like completely open my eyes, and I just stayed down. Weirdly enough, I'm able to fling my arm. My arm literally hits like this pole. I couldn't look at what was beside me. It just felt like this really big metal pole out of the corner of my eye, and I saw that this pole or whatever was covered in my blanket, the one that I thought I was sleeping on. After that, I started hearing doorknobs jiggle and locks turning, and it wasn't my door obviously because I had a sliding door. Since I heard that, I thought my dad was home. I tried to yell out something like dad or apa, papa, something, and it just wouldn't come out of my mouth. Like, the words physically wouldn't come out of my mouth. My door starts opening, and the hand is very creep-like. Yeah, that's all I remember. Woke up and I was able to move. I couldn't take it. I couldn't stay in my room, but I also did not want to get up and open the door even more and see if there was actually something behind it. And in the end, I did get up and I opened the door. And I went to my mom's room and I told her, I was just like, Mom, I was like, I think I just got sleep paralysis. And I started bawling. I think she just gave me the hand movement that was just like, just come sleep with us. That was the end of my second sleep paralysis story. This is where the real ghost story enters. Now this for sure, I know this happened because I have confirmation. It wasn't that long ago. I was in gymnastics and I was going to my first gymnastics competition tournament, whatever it's called. We were staying with my aunt. During the first night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked towards the door and there's a creak open. And I hate that so much because it's so creepy. The door is either wide open or it's closed completely. There's no in between for me. When I looked over there was a little girl just staring at me. You would think like, what's wrong with the little girl staring at you? But The girl wasn't there when we got there. I just kept staring at her and she kept staring at me back. And I was just like, what? Like, you trying to fight or what? No, I'm just kidding. So I just scooched really, really close to my grandma because we were sleeping on the same bed. Our shoulders were touching, basically. Eventually, I fell asleep because I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. The next night was even creepier. For some reason, I decided to sleep right next to the door where I saw a little girl. Why the hell? I don't know. I had caca in my brain or something. That night, she wasn't at the door anymore. She was at a nightstand. She was next to a nightstand, and she was kind of like laying on it like this. And my Nana's phone was charging right there, and she was basically just staring at it. And I was just staring at her, and she was staring at the phone. She wasn't looking at me. That's it. Like, I didn't talk to her. When we got home, I decided to tell my grandmother, and I was just like, hey, I don't know if you saw it, but I know I did. I said, I saw this little girl frequently the 2 nights in a row that we were there. She was just like, really? Interesting that you say that because your aunt actually said that she saw it too. And I was like, oh my god, I just turned on the blinker. I was just in shock. I was just like, what? And then she was just like, I'm not gonna tell her you saw her though because she lives there alone. And I'm just like, well, yeah, like, don't tell her. I don't want to scare her. When she would see the little girl, she would be just laying on her bed, and then the little girl would just appear, like, sitting on the rear side of the bed. My aunt said that she would just pray and she would go away. Yeah, actually, that night you gripped my arm really, really hard and you started shaking. I was like, no way. Completely in shock. Probably the reason why they see the little girl is because when they were building that house, they had to get dirt, so they got dirt from the cemetery, the graveyard, and so they probably just swept up the little girl's body, which is very sad to think about, actually. That's my paranormal story, and I am paranoid as hell, and I just don't want to find someone back there, so I'm gonna get off the car now. If you want to see more videos of mine, and just go ahead and give it a like and comment down below what you would like to see me do. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you follow my Instagram and my Snapchat, which is all the social medias that I have. I hate this. I'm paranoid now. Oh my gosh, I'm literally paranoid, and I keep seeing this garbage bag that looks strange enough like a human. Anyway, on it like this, like her shoulders were on the nightstand and she was standing. Paranoid now. I'm literally paranoid. I am paranoid as hell. Paranoid. I'm paranoid.